Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole, Saturday afternoon, April 23rd. Moving now into week 15 of Comparative Governments, Political Science 3143 for the spring 2022 term. Everybody, a couple of things right off the bat. Grades are due 3 weeks from today, Saturday, May 14th. So I will be getting this message out to you and probably 2 more before the end of the term. Another one the weekend of April 30th, and the final one more than likely the weekend of May 7th. Give or take a day or so on those dates. Let me say just a couple of things. If you should need to withdraw, not that I am encouraging you to withdraw or asking you to or anything of that nature, but if you should be in a position you think you need to, students may withdraw through the end of the business day this Thursday, the 28th. Okay, that would be Thursday afternoon. Check on the closing time with the main office. But you have until the end of the day, Thursday. Okay, so be aware of that if you think you may possibly need to withdraw. Please don't forget your country reports. I believe the way we've written these syllabus for the course, to be on the A track for the course, to make an A, you need to submit a country report. And we got a message out to you listing, earlier in the term, listing several countries you might consider as the subject matter for a country report. Not that it has to be one of those countries. It could be another country of interest to you. It's time to start thinking about that now if you have not done so already. And if you would like to contact me and discuss a country that may be of interest to you for that, contact me through the course website or at david.cole@opsu.edu. Now then, everybody, last week China was on the syllabus. This week we're conducting our last discussion about China, Tuesday through Thursday of this week. That would be the 26th through the 28th, I believe. Now I've sent you a lengthy article, a white paper it is called, from the Chinese State Press Agency. Okay, and I mentioned we'd probably look at this as a piece of propaganda, but it's a lengthy document and a lot of effort went into putting it together apparently. You may not feel it necessary to read through every word of the document. Skim through it enough to get the gist of it. Okay. The argument is, in 25 words or less, they are saying, well, we're just as democratic as you are, or maybe even more so. That's what they're arguing anyway in this article. Of course, you perhaps will not swallow that. Maybe not. But I mentioned in the email I sent out, you could possibly meet it. The countries, our country and theirs, are so intertangled, you could possibly meet Chinese nationals throughout your life and career who may feel this way and may be very insistent about it. So see what you think. And we'll discuss that Tuesday through Thursday of this coming week, the 26th through the 28th. Post once and then try to post a response, assuming that more than one of you all take part. All right? Now then, on the syllabus for this week, we have India. So let me say a few words about India before we go this afternoon. India often is described as the world's largest democracy, although it's not an untroubled democracy. And as a matter of fact, decades ago, when I was your age, the democratic institutions were briefly suspended when Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declared a state of emergency. It's only been independent since a year or two after the end of World War II, 1947-48 or so. When the British withdrew from their colonial empire after the end of World War II, and what was known as the British Raj was granted its independence, but was split into 2 countries, India and Pakistan, because the area that now constitutes Pakistan was overwhelmingly Muslim in its population, whereas the remainder of the Raj was predominantly Hindu. It was felt that there would be problems putting the 2 together and operating them all as one independent country. So they were partitioned into 2 separate countries. That was accompanied by no small degree of violence, as Hindus left what would become Pakistan and Muslims left what would become India across that international border. There was considerable violence. And relations between the 2 countries have been fraught throughout their independent existence, and they fought a couple of wars on different occasions. So, India then often is regarded as the world's largest democracy. Pakistan, for what it's worth, has a more authoritarian regime with democratic institutions, not quite so well established. But we're mostly concerned about India, with its 1.3, 1.4 billion people. One of the largest countries in the world in terms of population, along with China, may be about to surpass China in that respect. Okay. A boisterous democracy with a free press, competitive political parties, so large that national elections often are spread out over a time schedule of a few days rather than on a single day as in the United States. Okay. Indian democracy is beset with some problems. One of the problems stems from the fact that it is a predominantly, but not entirely, Hindu country. Now, through much of the history of independent India, since the end of the Raj in the post-World War II period, the predominant party was the Congress Party. It was an offshoot of the Indian National Congress, the independence movement in which Mahatma Gandhi was involved. And Nelson Mandela took the inspiration for the African National Congress from the Indian National Congress. Once independence was achieved, it became the predominant party and remained predominant for decades. It's still at work. It still exists, the Congress Party, but it's not nearly as predominant as it used to be. It lost its predominance pretty much. Over the last couple of decades, the party that has gained the upper hand has been the BJP, which is a Hindu nationalist party. It has the support of very, very nationalistic Hindus, many of whom might prefer that the place be called Hindustan instead of India. Okay. Now, what we have to keep in mind is the Muslim population of India, you might look at it as relatively small, 10 or 15%. 15% would be a more accurate figure. Doesn't seem like very many. But with the huge population of India, that's 200 million people, the Muslim population of India. And there's been occasion for conflict frequently between the Hindu and Muslim populations of India, with no small numbers of lives being lost from time to time. The current ruling party, the BJP, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, often is regarded as a Muslim-baiting party. It is accused of often targeting the Muslim population to try to secure the votes of the majority Hindu population. The kind of thing, if you think about it, we see going on throughout much of the world in contemporary times. So just be aware of that dynamic going on as you read about India in the class notes that have been posted on the course website. We'll do our last discussion this week, which is about China. After that discussion is over, we'll get some material out for a quiz for next week, which will be our last quiz of the term. We have Iran on the syllabus next week, the last country we have to look at among the individual countries we're looking at this term. So, I hope you will look at the article from the Chinese press agency and discuss that this week. Look at your class notes on India. Later this week, we'll be getting some material out for a quiz. Please think about your country report if you plan to do one, and we'll talk to you once again a week from now, more or less at this time. Good luck, take it easy, study hard.